Update, brought to you by Simcox Advocates, advising businesses and families since 1949. Visit simcox.com or call 690 300. Manx Radio's Update with Andy Wint.
Faster my good evening, it's 5:30. This is Update for Monday, 15th of May 2023 from Manx Radio. 30 minutes to look at the latest news on the island, background to that news and sport and business, Sea-Watch, travel updates and the newsmakers in person this evening. The Chief Minister will move the Ranson case forward tomorrow. Westmoreland Road development, public meeting tonight at 7:30. Julie Edge MHK on government workers' accountability. Forget the coins, we got better things to do, says Liv Van. And the Manx Rams get a bronze in European netball.
Man Benham for all your business and legal needs.
First of all, at 29 minutes ahead of 6 o'clock, the Update News headlines. Faster my Siobhan Fletcher.
Faster my. The Chief Minister is to move a motion of public importance in Tynwald tomorrow. It will immediately follow an urgent statement given by the Minister for Health and Social Care regarding the outcome of the Dr Rosalind Ranson Employment Tribunal. A petitioner is calling on the Department of Infrastructure to make significant improvements to the island's airport to improve fairness. Barry Murphy wants government to urgently speak with airlines to ensure Isle of Man residents are treated in a decent and humane manner when cancellations and delays occur. A public meeting will be held in central Douglas tonight concerning the planning application for Westmoreland Road. The proposals for a village-style development were unveiled by the Manx Development Corporation earlier this year. The meeting will take place at the Rosemount Trinity Schoolroom from 7 p.m. Further afield, Russia says it takes an extremely negative view of the UK's pledge of more support for Ukraine. The Prime Minister there has promised to provide Kyiv with air defence missiles and attack drones. A former Mirror journalist has told the High Court he used to hide in his editor's office to access the phone data of celebrities. Dan Evans has been giving evidence in the hacking trial brought by Prince Harry and others against Mirror Group newspapers. And S Club 7 are going to go ahead with their 25th anniversary tour, but with just 5 members. The Pops group's rebranded as S Club after Hannah Sperrit decided not to join the gigs. They're your headlines, news at 6.
Man Benham. Contact us by phone, video call, email or face-to-face. We're happy to connect with you. Manx Radio Weather with Manx Glass and Glazing.
Goromayed, thank you. Siobhan from the Ronaldsway Met Office. There's no wind warning in operation for the North Irish Sea. State of sea is slight currently. This evening, well, it's a gorgeous evening, dry with some late sunshine, a moderate to fresh west-northwest wind. And we're down to 7 degrees through the night. For tomorrow, Tuesday, Jamur, dry and sunny tomorrow. A moderate to fresh west-northwesterly, highest 15 degrees, dry overnight into Wednesday, minimum 9 Celsius. And dry and partially cloudy on Wednesday with hazy sunshine, a light to moderate west-southwesterly, and up to 16 degrees. Sunset tonight, 9:15. High tides 9:25, low water is 20 to 4 a.m. Sunrise in the morning at 5:14. And the morning high tide at 13 to 10.
Manx Glass and Glazing can produce bespoke splashbacks for your kitchen in any colours. Speak to the team on 674 573.
And so the Rosalind Ranson case continues. The Chief Minister move a motion of public importance in Tynwald tomorrow. The details from Siobhan.
Alfred Cannon is to set the wheels in motion for an independent review into the management by the Isle of Man government of the Dr Rosalind Ranson Employment Tribunal. It was decided earlier this month that the island's former medical director should be awarded £3.2 million for unfair dismissal by the Department of Health and Social Care. The Chief Minister's motion will immediately follow an urgent statement given by the Health and Social Care Minister. Mr Cannon is to move that a select committee of 3 members of Tynwald be established to appoint a retired High Court judge or King's Counsel or person of similar standing to undertake the review. The motion also sets out that the terms of reference for the review should be drafted by the committee to enable the appointment, and then reviewed in consultation with the person appointed to conduct the review and brought to Tynwald for approval. Additionally, the terms point of reference should include the interaction between the DHSC, the Attorney General's chambers, independent legal advisers and the Cabinet Office during the full course of the tribunal, the relevant conduct of the DHSC highlighted by the Employment and Equality Tribunal in the liability judgment, the conduct of the Isle of Man government during the litigation process, consideration of access to all documentation in the context of legal professional privilege, and what balance should be sought between evidence taken in public and in private. May's sitting of the island's Parliament gets underway at 10:30am tomorrow. You can follow live coverage on Manx Radio's AM 1368 frequency, DAB, online and on smartphone apps.
A public meeting's been held this evening at 7:30 to discuss the proposed development on Westmoreland Road, Douglas. Manx Development Corporation's plans include building 133 homes, 20,000 square feet of office space and 4 retail units. Douglas Councillor Stephen Pitts is chairing the meeting.
The doors open at 7 and it starts at 7:30. It's members of the public who contacted me to see if I'd be interested in attending the meeting that they've organised and sorted the hall, and they put flyers out to residents of the local area. And then they asked me would I be able to attend and would I chair the meeting. I said yes, that was no problem. Hopefully the 2 MHKs for Douglas Central will be there as well, and maybe a few residents will turn up and voice their concerns over this village development, as it's called. I'm for new development, but not on the scale that's happening there and with the amount of car parking space that's going to be provided. That's one of my main concerns. The play area, to me, is not what would be required for the amount of properties that are going to be there. It's mainly the parking, because you can go around there any time of the day or night. It's very, very difficult to get a space. So with limited parking on the actual site, if the residents do have cars, which I'm sure many of them will have, where are they going to park their vehicles? Which I'm sure they won't be able to get parking permits if they're not meant to have cars. So a lot of questions need to be answered on what's going to happen if you have a car, will you not be allocated one of the houses? And they're all rental as well. I think that all new developments should have an allocation of first-time buyer homes. Otherwise, the younger children of Douglas are never going to get their foot in either for a house.
Update brought to you by Simcox Advocates.
The retrial of a former Castletown man accused of beating his wife's lover to death 10 years ago has started today. Tessa Hawley from Manx Radio News was at Douglas Courthouse. This report contains information you may find distressing.
Ian Anthony Anderson, who's currently care of the Isle of Man prison, is accused of murdering Neil Roberts between the 30th of November and the 1st of December 2013. The 54-year-old allegedly beat the self-employed gardener to death during an attack at the home he shared with his wife on Queen Street. Today, the prosecutor told the court Mr. Anderson's wife was also in a relationship with Mr. Roberts. We say Mr. Ian Anderson knew about the relationship, Peter Wright QC told the jury. It was something he wasn't happy with. In a struggle after the two men had been to the pub, Ian Anderson was said to have given Mr. Roberts a very serious beating, with the QC adding a beating was insufficient to satisfy Mr. Anderson. He told the jury of 12 Mr. Anderson had proceeded to beat and stamp literally the living daylights out of him in the attack described as sustained and very severe. The court heard Mr. Roberts had almost every bone in his face broken and suffered unsurvivable injuries. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The prosecutor told the court that Mr. Anderson accepts killing Mr. Roberts but will be putting forward a defence of manslaughter due to provocation and or diminished responsibility. Mr. Wright told the court the attack was an unwarranted and unreasonable reaction to the belief that Mr. Roberts and his wife were going to continue their relationship, adding, "You can't just kill your rival because you lose your temper." Ian Anderson denies murder. The trial will continue tomorrow.
Oncan MHK Julie Edge says changes need to be made to ensure government workers can be held to account if there's wrongdoing. She chaired a committee looking into whistleblowing during the last administration. Here is Julie Edge.
We have to make sure that any failings with officers going forward can be held to account. Certainly that's not the case at the present time. So, of course, you come in as a political member representing the people for 5 years, and this is all about people's money. We need to make sure that if there is any errors that were due to failure in the policy, following policy or procedure and the governance, that people have to be held to account. You can't just hold ministers to account because it happens further down the chain. And we've got some excellent people working in government, and I don't want to see people working with their heads down. I want to see them confident individuals working in an organisation that they understand the rule book, which is policy, procedures and process, and they're able to follow them confidently for the people of the island. We've had previous cases where we're addressing the changes that need to come forward through that whistleblown committee recommendations. We've started on it, we've implemented some of them, but there's some real key issues that the island is facing. I do completely understand the public have elected all of us into here. The public need to see that the work that is being delivered is the right work. Everybody's working hard on the island for this island, and that includes us politicians, and what we need to do is stand up, be accountable, not look for the next vote, make the tough decisions that are made for this island. Whistleblowers will always come forward, I hope, and have the confidence to come forward, but we can't stop here. We've got to make sure that anybody in the public sector is confident in the workplace, confident to report and not receive any behaviour that's detrimental to them or to the public person.
Sea Watch with the Isle of Man Steam Packet Company.
Motorship Ben McCree left Heysham at 1:45 this afternoon. She's safely on the link span in Douglas. Will be departing this evening at 7:45, arriving in Heysham at 11:30. The overnight departure 2:15, back to Douglas around 6 tomorrow morning. High-speed craft Manannan departed Douglas at 3:03. She's again in Liverpool on the link span right now. Will be departing at 7:15, back to Douglas at 10 tonight. Tomorrow morning's departures is 8:45. Ben McCree for Heysham. Manannan departs tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock for Liverpool.
Follow the Steam Packet on Twitter for the latest sailing information.
The Manx Rams concluded 5 days of international netball action yesterday. Summing it up, Dave Moore.
The Isle of Man had to settle for the bronze medal position yesterday in their final game of the Europe Netball Challenge in Cardiff. They beat Malta 52-31 to secure third place in the Division 1 section of the competition. After the game, Captain Ashley Hall spoke to Europe Netball TV.
We're very pleased. We're pleased individually, and as a team we got everyone on, and we really enjoyed that game. Every quarter I think we had a mix of youth and experience, and it was great to mix it up a bit, and we were ready for this game today. We were fired up for this game. For the next Europe Netball, we want to build on what we've done here with regards to experience. It's all about experience for us now and building on what we've done so far and getting our youth involved. They've come into the squad really well. We've got some under-21s in there as well, and we're really pleased with how they're taken to court.
The tournament was won by the United Arab Emirates, with the Republic of Ireland earning the silver medal. In the Division 2 section, Gibraltar came out on top with France second, Israel third and Switzerland fourth.
Manx Radio Business Briefing.
At 17 minutes before 6, British American Tobacco said it's appointed Finance Director Tadeu Morocco as Chief Exec, succeeding Jack Bowles, who was stepping down with immediate effect on Monday after just 4 years in the job. Morocco joined BAT in 1992, was appointed to the board of the Lucky Strike and Dunhill maker in 2019, also served on the company's management board since 2014. BAT said a comprehensive search for a new group financial director would now start. Currently, Digital and Information Division Director Havid Iqbal has been appointed on an interim basis. And for a full daily market report, go to ramseycrookall.com. UK holiday village chain Centre Parks has been put up for sale by its owner, Canadian private equity firm Brookfield. The company's looking to raise up to £5 billion from the sale, according to the FT. Brookfield bought the business for £2.4 billion in 2015. Centre Parks runs 6 holiday villages in the UK and Ireland, attracting more than 2 million visitors every year. The first UK location opened in 1987 at Sherwood Forest in Nottinghamshire. It's now got holiday villages in Elvedon Forest, Longleat Forest, Winfield Forest and Woburn Forest. In 2019, it opens its first site in Ireland with Centre Parks Longford Forest, close to the town of Ballyman in County Longford.
The Stock Market Report. Brought to you by Ramsey Crookall.
UK and European markets were mixed. The dollar slid, pressured by a weak manufacturing index in New York. Oil rose and gold edged higher as the US debt ceiling stalemate and concerns of an economic slowdown steered some traders towards the safe haven of gold. The numbers now from Ramsey Crookall. At the close in London, the FTSE 100 up 0.3% at 7,777. The DAX in Frankfurt fractionally up 0.02% at 15,000. 3,916. A short time ago in New York City, the indices line up like this. The Dow Jones Industrial down 0.04% at 33,287. The Nasdaq Tech Stocks Index up almost 0.4% at 12,330. The S&P 500 in Chicago up almost 0.1% at 4,127. In the exchange markets, the British pound sterling trading at $1 25.2 cents, €1 15.1 cents, and 23 South African rand 82.3 cents. In commodities, gold is up 0.33% at $2,017 per troy ounce, and a barrel of Brent crude up 1.75% at $75.46.
You've got an investment plan?
Yeah, Mike set it up.
But don't you need loads of money to do that?
Not this one. It's called Shearwater from Ramsey Crookall, and you pay in monthly as little as £100. So it's like saving regularly, really helping us invest in the future. For a house, or the kids' education.
£100 a month? I could easily do that.
You should. The sooner you start, the better.
Invest in your future with as little as £100 a month. Shearwater from Ramsey Crookall, the island's investment specialist for 75 years. Call 717171 or visit ramseycrookall.com. Licensed and regulated by the Isle of Man Financial Services Authority.
This is the most listened to Isle of Man news source, and Manx Radio's Update is the Isle of Man's most downloaded news podcast.
Faster by. Good evening. Thanks for joining Manx Radio. It's 14 minutes before 6. We're live from Douglas in the Isle of Man. A political party on the Isle of Man is calling for the government to look into more pressing concerns than it's considering currently. At the weekend, members of Liberal Vannin expressed their worry with Treasury's proposal to withdraw 1, 2p and 5p coins from circulation. Chair of Liberal Vannin's Paul Wetherall.
I think most people at the meeting felt it was a bit of a distraction for what's really priority for government at the moment. And it might be just the timing of it, but the fact that the consultation has just been announced at the time that government is still receiving quite a bit of flack and having to deal with the outcome of the Dr. Ranson Employment Tribunal and all of the other issues facing the economy on the island at the moment. We felt that, this was one of the least important issues that government has to deal with. But on top of that, we also felt that it would probably turn out to be a little bit inflationary if these coins are done away with. I know Treasury Minister Dr. Allinson was talking about rounding up and rounding down, but I think most people feel that the rounding up is the most likely option, or there'll be more rounding up than rounding down, so prices may well increase as a result. And the other issue that people felt quite strongly about was that when people do go shopping and use cash, they often put loose change into charity boxes on the counter, and this might affect the income that charities receive if people might be more reticent to put in 50p's and pound coins, whereas they're very happy to put in 1, 2 and 5p pieces. So these are the main concerns, but reason why members felt so strongly about it at our coffee morning was that it was just a fairly irrelevant thing for government to get involved with at the moment, given what else is going on.
Manx Radio Sport.
Faster My, Dave Moore.
Faster My. Callum Black and Jack Morton finished the Manx National Rally as top crew. They had 3 minutes in hand at the end of the event over second place crew Neil Roskell and Andrew Roguehead, with Steve Wood and Kenny Hull third. Steve Colley and Kirsty Duke were fourth overall, but top of Class E. There was a Class C victory for Sam Adams and Michael Johnston, with Damien Toner and Aidan Gallagher top in D. H3 went to Will Rowlands and Emir Hall. In all, more than 70 crews made it to the finish at the end of 17 stages. Football now, and in the Ascot Hotel Junior Cup yesterday, Russian United progressed to the semi-finals at the expense of Ramsey, who they beat 4-1. Meanwhile, Moran needed a penalty shootout to eliminate St John's United in their quarter-final tie. They won 4-3 on spot kicks after the sides were level at 2-2 at the end of extra time. The Isle of Man women's team continued their preparation for the forthcoming Island Games in Guernsey with a 15-0 triumph over Upton at the weekend. The girls beat the Chester Bayside courtesy of 4 goals each from Rebecca Cole and Erin Sells, 2 for Holly Sumner and Louise Gibbons, while Holly Stephen, Becky Corkish and Chloe Tier scored 1 apiece. Meanwhile, the Canada Life Women's League concluded yesterday with Malou winning 5-1 in the Southern Derby at Castletown. Ashley Lacanict scored 2, as did Rebecca Crugine, while Kate Lace was also on the score sheet.
Manx Radio Travel, driven by Quayside Tyres and Service Centre.
Inbound at Ronalds Way, the 7:20 EasyJet from Liverpool is delayed until 8:10 tonight. Later on, inbound at Ronalds Way, the 8:10 Loganair returning patient transfer plane is on time. Then it's the 8:05 Loganair from Liverpool on time, and the 9:25 EasyJet from London Gatwick is showing on time. Outbound tonight, the 5:00 EasyJet to Bristol's delayed till 6, and then the 6:00 Liverpool Loganair showing on time. 10:08 EasyJet from Liverpool delayed till 8:20 this evening, and the 9:05 EasyJet from London Gatwick showing on time. The Mountain Road is open. Temporary lights in Douglas on Groves Road near the NSC. Temporary lights on Upper Dukes Road at the Falconcliffe Terrace Junction for water main repairs. Groudle Road is closed between Church Road and Fairway Close for gaswork in Oncombe. And temporary lights in Groudle on King Edward Road between Groudle and the Liverpool Arms for drainage work. Temporary lights on the Newcastle Town Road north of the Ferry Bridge for drainage work. In Peel, still got those temporary closures around East Quay. In Laxey, temporary lights on Glen Road near the football club. In Glen Helen, temporary lights on the TT course for tree felling, and temporary lights on Sulby Strait for resurfacing. And on the TT course between Glen Duff and Glen Alden in Lezayre, they're working on the pavements. In Derby, the Ballymena Road has got phase closures for water main replacement.
Quayside Tyres and Service Centre Club Card has over £400 worth of saving for your whole family. Get more with
Today marks the start of Mental Health Awareness Week, and our listeners reporting a significant increase in the number of young people seeking support from the organisation over the years. It provides listening services and psychological support for people on the Isle of Man, and the charity's clinical lead is Dr. Brian Murray.
For the mental health services within CAMS, the stat that's been put around is between 1 in 9 and 1 in 10 people are under CAMS service, and that's quite high for this small population. And for us, just even in Listen, we get, in addition to that, probably around about 1,000 referrals a year, and that creeps up a little bit each year. So we know that the demand's there. That's why with some of these things, like these interventions we're doing, is that actually parents could do something straight away themselves, not have to wait for referral or to be seen by someone. And our parent drop-ins, we've had that where parents are coming in the times that they can make, asking for some advice, and we've been recommending the book that goes with this, so it's been enough for them to feel equipped to do something about it and immediately. So that's been really good.
Update brought to you by Simcox Advocates, advising businesses and families since 1949. Visit simcox.com or call 690 300.
A petitioner is calling for the Department of Infrastructure to make improvements to the airport after his family was unable to land at Ronalds Way due to fog last week. Barry Murphy wants government to urgently speak with airlines to ensure island residents are treated in a decent and humane manner when cancellations and delays occur. We'll hear from DOI Minister Chris Thomas in a moment. First, Barry Murphy.
The reality is that people are losing confidence in flying, and I have lost confidence in flying. So it's really just to bring it back into the political forefront, to request the DOI Minister to just simply have a look and see if there's anything that he can do or the government can do to just look after the people of the Isle of Man. It's not good enough for a government to constantly bang on that businesses should be providing a good customer service. The airport has to provide a good customer service. The reality is that the airline haven't provided it. Yes, I'm aware that the government, the DOI, have been implementing intelligent lighting systems and are trying to sort out air traffic control situation. But that doesn't bring any resolutions for passengers when they're stuck on the ground, in my case with 2 young children or elderly people. And it's not a good thing, you know, and it's been going on for too long.
Airlines are private businesses. The Isle of Man government owns the steam packet, although it is an arm's length operation and sets its own prices, but its prices are set inside a thing called the Sea Services Agreement. We negotiate landing fees, we negotiate other aspects of the service that's provided. It's well known that we have a contract with one airline for certain routes. We have patient transfer service, so we pay a lot of money for our airline services, but ultimately passengers buy tickets from airlines and fly according to those airlines' terms and conditions. You can shout away at airport staff, but ultimately you put your baggage with an airline who engages a baggage company. The premium lounge in the Isle of Man airport's more often closed than it's open, and that's something that's provided by the airlines for their travelling passengers. It seems like many more more people do travel by sea, and we are looking at the figures very closely to see if that's the case. Living on an island, certain things really matter, and one of those things is getting on and off the island, places around the British Isles and beyond as possible, and that's why I joined the Department of Infrastructure in part. It's not been working for the last few years, and we need to sort it.
That's it for Update Tonight, compiled from the resources of Manx Radio's news department. Thanks to newsreader Siobhan Fletcher, producer Beth Espy. Stick around after the news at 6 o'clock. Our political programme with Phil Gorn. Agenda, that's on the way. 6:30, the greatest hits with Chris Kinley. Monday night means 9 o'clock, and it's time for Brass with Ian Cotcher. And at 10 o'clock tonight, Dave Moore with The Late Show After Hours. That's a lovely evening on the Isle of Man. Hope you make the most of it. And if you're off to that public meeting tonight concerning the Kensington Westmoreland Road development, maybe I'll see you there. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Update returns tomorrow evening at 5:30.